All right, guys, I'm here with Brayden Staples from Dark Energy. Brayden, how you doing?
I'm good. It's kind of early in the morning on a weekend, but we're excited to be here, excited to chat with my good buddy Logan on all the various things we're going to cover today.
Yeah, Brayden. I mean, let's see. We've known each other for probably almost 2 years, right? It's been at least a
Yeah,
year and a
it's
half, I
going on two
think.
years.
So, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
you guys.
we,
I remember meeting you at Hunt Expo.
yeah, yeah, and that was like the first time we met. But I think we chatted a little bit before that and was working together on some stuff. But yeah, I love your stuff. So, Brayden, let's just get into like introduce yourself
Thank you.
and why you're with Dark Energy and how you got there.
Yeah. So my name's Brayden Staples. I grew up in a small town in Utah, and that's kind of where I began my passion for the outdoors. So like I think in order to even want to have a job in the outdoor industry or hunting industry or whatever, you want to have a passion for it, which I think a lot of people do. And there's a lot of amazing people out there that have that passion. And so anyway, I had that passion, went to school and got my degree in marketing, which is what I currently do for Dark Energy. I'm their marketing manager, handle pretty much every aspect of marketing at this point. Dark Energy is still a relatively small company. So if you think of some type of marketing, I am probably the contact for it, whether or not we're actively implementing stuff on each strategy, maybe said different. So like we're not doing a ton of TV stuff right now. Eventually I'd love to, but we're just not. And then we do lots of email, social media. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off into the weeds. That's more about what I do at Dark Energy, but I went to school and got my degree in marketing um, because I love people. And I like hearing people's journeys. I like hearing people's stories about why they love doing what they do. And more importantly, I wanted to help solve people's problems, whatever they may be, with the product and or service that I went in to help market. And one of the biggest issues I've noticed with that is people just need to hear about something that can help them in order to want to have it. And so when I heard about Dark Energy and what they made, that as well as what industries they were in, that was kind of why I leaned toward getting started with them. Is I wanted to be in the hunting outdoor industry, and then I found that they made products specifically for that to solve a specific problem in the outdoor industry. Anybody can go get a battery pack, but it's not going to be for the same purpose that Dark Energy stuff is made.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hopefully that wasn't too much rambling on like
No, dude.
why I went to school and
Yeah,
but
not at all. I think that's great. I think that's cool that you had like a why and a reason that you were going to school for a certain thing for a certain reason. Like you like people and relationships, and so going into marketing for that purpose, I think that's awesome because I think some people don't even
yeah.
think about that when they're going into school. They're just going to school because they want to get a degree and a job, and so that's awesome, dude. I think that probably leads to getting a job that you like more than just having a regular old job, you know? So
True.
let's do talk about like what you do with Dark Energy. So you are the marketing manager. What's kind of your role there?
Yeah, I kind of touched a little bit on it, but we can dive further in. I handle pretty much all of the marketing at Dark Energy. I have a little bit of help. I have consultants that help me do some of the creative stuff, essentially, and help me run ads specifically on Google and Facebook. I'll just kind of do like a quick walkthrough of my week, and I think that'll
Yeah,
display
let's
a
do it.
lot about what I do. So on like Monday, every single Monday, what I really focus on is reporting. So I look back at our past week and the results we got across our various channels. So I look at our emails and our emails that went out and how many people went through and clicked and how many people ended up purchasing from our emails. And possibly things we could do to make those emails better and more enticing to whoever's looking to purchase our stuff. Then I look at our social media accounts. How did they perform? Are they growing still? Social media is a very hungry beast. It takes a lot of content, it takes a lot of effort to keep it growing. So I look at what we need, what we have upcoming, to kind of lay out my week for what I need to really focus on. Tuesday through Friday is a lot of applications. So I'm going into our ads, I'm changing things if needed, I'm writing our emails, creating all of our social media posts. We try and do at least one a day, including weekends now. So, I mean, in order to get the content for it, it's like I need seven different photo shoots almost, or seven different
Yeah.
video shoots, which is a lot. And that's one thing that helped me meet a lot of awesome people such as yourself, Logan. Dark Energy is, as a company, and most companies are this way, in need of content. We can't do it all by ourselves. I have an in-house guy who helps build our website, helps build all of our packaging, helps build the products, helps build, like, he's a do-it-all type of guy, which is amazing, but he doesn't have time to help create every single social media post that I have.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think these third party content creators come, such as yourself or Kobe Owens or Braden Crittenden, or like all the people we're tagging in our social media are people that we work with, have some sort of skill behind a camera and can help us achieve our goal of growing on social media and filling out that content pool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's
that's
um that's cool. It's like social media to like for a business, like doing a post a day, that's so much. Um yeah, it makes sense that you have to like hire out guys to get to get content for you, because that's a lot of content to be pushing out every week. When you're like looking for content creators and stuff, what are kind of some of the things that you look for, and things that stand out to you with people who you reach out to and ask for to help you guys with content?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of them is a little bit of skill behind the camera. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to be able to have, like, if you have a portfolio of some sort of work, then that's awesome. And honestly, I think a lot of people might be afraid to get started, or they're like, "Oh, I don't have a brand deal to help me get the content I need to build out my portfolio." And if you don't, you already have gear. So my recommendation would be go take a bunch of photos and figure out what works. And then you can
Yeah.
share those photos with a company to say, hey, this is what I was able to do in the past. It may not have been paid work, but I can see the video quality or photo quality in it. And then I'll go, okay, let's move on from there and give you a shot. So that's one, is ability to work behind a camera. Two, I like to look for people that have a passion for our products already or a need for our products already. Um, if they haven't tried it, that's not a deal breaker for me. In fact, typically I start the relationship with some sort of, hey, we'll get you some product. Let me know what you think. If we want to continue, then we can continue past that. And that way, I'm working with people who are actually passionate about our products at Dark Energy, because when you're passionate about something, you're going to give more time and energy to it.
Yeah.
And I like people to actually use the stuff they're working with. If people are actually using our products, they'll be more creative in how they're capturing the content. And I've seen some amazing examples of that, and we can get into that a little bit later today, of how people are using dark energy products to supplement and improve their photography and videography. Top Probably top two: quality, ability to, or enjoyment of our products. I guess one other thing that I really look for is personality. Are you someone that I'm gonna want to work with over a long period
Yeah.
of time? Am I gonna have to, am I gonna have to pester you all day, every day to get your content in, or are you going to put your deliverables in on time? Are we going to be able, like, is it a good relationship? I understand things happen, so we're not like, oh, something gets messed up once, you're done. I I like working with people that are kind and nice and are open to criticism and open to making a few tweaks on the content if needed. So I would say, like, being willing to practice your photography skill, being willing to test out our products and enjoy our products, and then being someone that we like to work with is probably my top three, and then we just go from there. My
Yeah.
my last consideration is more on the business side, and it's probably more of like, do I have the budget for it? So if I don't have
Yeah.
the budget, unfortunately, I can't bring on more creators. But like, nothing against you as a creator, you probably make some awesome.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that those are great points for people to think about because especially if someone is new, like, and they don't have that portfolio of work. Like when I started, for like a whole year, I just took photos of everything. I didn't make any money at all. And I didn't even like have any affiliations with brands. I just went and took photos all year and came back with like a nice big portfolio, a big gallery of decent images. Now I think they're like decent. Back then I was like, these are the best images ever. But then I took those to brands, and that's how I started to get work, right? And so
Yep.
I don't know if some people probably don't realize that it does take some time, and you have to have that proof that you can go out and get the content for people, and then provide that to them. So yeah, those are great points, and making sure all the content's in on time, and just that you have a good relationship with them. So that's good. There's a lot of brands
Yep. One
out there.
one funny
Or go
thing you
for it.
mentioned, I was gonna say, one funny thing you mentioned was like the creating the content. And since I've got the role as the marketing manager of Dark Energy, we've needed a little bit more content, or we need more than sometimes what our content creators can produce. So me, with my zero photography, zero videography background, has gone out and tried to produce content, and it's tough. What creators are able to do in the content that they produce when they send it back, I'm even more amazed when I go out and try and shoot something on my own, because I feel like it always turns out so not great. And so I think that year you spent as well going out and taking photos that turned out to be good photos. That's also a lot of time to get practice in, so that when you are on a paid deal, or when you are on some sort of deal with a company, you already have some sort of skill, or you've already been honing that skill to be ready for that moment. And I think that's similar to like what I did in my career. So I went to school for marketing, and I spent 4 years studying marketing and studying like how people think and how to get people to find products and buy products that they enjoy. And so I guess if you're for some reason not a creative, and or if you're not a creative and not a marketing guy and wanting to just get into the outdoor industry, probably my biggest recommendation there would be to find a skill and get good at it, and then find an opportunity in the industry. And if that happens to be creative, you can do that. It's just practice, and eventually I think you can get there. So that was like an offside tangent, something I'd been thinking about, and wanted to just touch on it. That if you have that skill, keep practicing. I'm still working on all of my marketing stuff. I'm by no means an expert. In fact, I'm probably like one of the least experienced people in the industry. I got hired right out of college. It's yeah, it's a learning, growing opportunity that we should take all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I think It's always about learning and just growing. That's what life kind of is about. And yeah, I think there's most people would say that they like that they would feel like you're saying you feel, where it's like you don't feel like you're the most experienced marketer in the industry. Like a lot of people, even who've been in the industry longer than you and I, would probably say the same thing. But that's the mindset of like always trying to be better and continuing to grow. So I think it's important to have that still, and to but not let it cripple you, but still to just like keep pushing and keep help letting it push you along and help you learn. So how many employees are at Dark Energy? Do you know exactly?
I don't know if I'd be able to give you an exact number. Things are a little bit in flux right now because we're growing
Okay.
extremely fast.
Yeah.
That being said, if I had to throw out a number, it would be less than 10 of
Really?
full-time employees. So Dark Energy is a really small team. We have like an engineering team that has probably 3 employees. We have the marketing team that has me. We have a sales team. In fact, something really exciting that you'll start seeing next year is Dark Energy is going to be in a lot more stores. So people, when they need their products, they can go test them and feel them in the stores. You can still purchase online, but you can actually go into a store and you'll start seeing Dark Energy there. So keep an eye out for that. We have a customer like response team, customer satisfaction, however you want to put it, that has 1 or 2 people, and like we have our designer, and that's like it. That's our whole team, which is crazy and amazing because then I get to interact on a personal level with them, and we're a small team that's pushing toward a whole bunch of goals together.
Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't know it was that small, so that's cool to hear that. Are you working in the office or do you work from home most days? How does that work?
Yeah, so I'm absolutely blessed at my job at Dark Energy. We're probably in the office 5% of the time, and 95% of the time is remote. So,
Wow.
like, I'm working from home. Actually, today, while we were recording this podcast, we're going to set up for a trade show. So, like, we'll have a trade show. And so I'll actually see my coworkers more in person over the next few days while we're at the trade show than I typically see them over the course of a month, just because of the way that we work, which is remote. And the remote job is amazing. There's a lot of flexibility built into it. So if I need to go do something, I can, and I'm grateful for that. But it is a little difficult sometimes, and we have to overcome that through lots of good communication via text and email. So there are positives and negatives, but again, I wouldn't trade the remote working and going into the office rarely at Dark Energy for anything.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I would probably enjoy that more sometimes, but I feel like there is an aspect of like being with your coworkers every day that is kind of nice. Because I've worked at a couple jobs too where I was like in the office working, and it is kind of fun to have those relationships. But then it is nice to just be at home and be able to work on your own schedules. That's cool.
Yes.
Where is your guys' main office? Is it just is an office space, or do you have a little storefront there?
No, there's no storefront. It's just an office space. It's in Murray. We say Salt Lake City,
Okay.
so it's around Salt Lake
Yeah.
City for anybody outside of Utah that doesn't know where Murray is. But it's just a little office space. Honestly, there's like some desks there, and that's about it. So, with us not being in the office very often, like we don't keep it well stocked with anything. So it's it's just a little office space in Murray, and we go there once a month, meet up, and have some bigger meetings, and then we all go our separate ways and have our other meetings through
Nice.
Zoom or FaceTime like we're doing now almost.
Nice. Cool. That's awesome. Um, that is exciting that you mentioned that you will be in stores pretty soon. I don't know if you can say, but do you know what stores you guys are going to be in so people can keep an eye out?
I don't.
Okay,
I
that's
We
okay.
talked to our sales guy, and he teases some to us, and like I don't want to be like be in this one and then have the
Yeah,
deal fall through and us not be in there. I do know we are in conversation with some bigger stores that you've definitely heard of. When we get into them, we will be sending out announcements and saying, "Hey, we're now available in these stores." For now, a lot of small, we call them mom and pop shops, so like little archery stores or little hunting stores. You can start finding our products there. I think we're in right around 200 different stores in the country right now. Most of them are those little, like, mom and pop stores.
gotcha. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that'll be exciting to kind of see how that goes over the next little bit. So cool. So let's talk about some of the product stuff and like you mentioned that you we could bring it back to the photography aspect and the creatives using your guys'
Hmm.
products. Let's talk about that. What were your thoughts on that?
Yes, we can. I actually have the two products here next to me. We have our I'll start with our little unit. This is our Poseidon Nano. It's a MagSafe wireless battery. So like I have a phone here, magnetically connects and then wirelessly charges, which is awesome. And it's more made for supplementing your phone's battery and helping you get through a day. It's not a huge charge, but it's great for keeping in a pocket for that type of endeavor. And I'll share a couple examples with how people are using them that I find super smart or super creative. One thing with Poseidon Nano is that it actually has magnets in it. So you can mount it on something metal and then run cables from it. So like if I wanted to, I could go stick this on my fridge or I could go stick it wherever and run a cable out the bottom and charge my various devices from there. So some people are using them to, I guess, supplement like a GoPro when it's mounted on a truck or whatever, to help do that. One of the really cool ways that I thought or I heard of people using them was the guys for Hunt Wars used them to run all of their wireless mics. They were looking for a little battery that was compact that could help their mics run all day, and Poseidon Nano was able to do that. So, like, finding a battery for a specific job is great, and Poseidon Nano for them was specifically for their wireless mics, being able to keep them charged and rolling all day because they needed them on for when action came up,
Yeah.
to be able to capture it. The next battery that I wanted to touch on, if we're ready, if you have any questions about Poseidon Nano, Logan, then we
Uh,
can answer them.
no, I think we can move on. I think that covers the Nano pretty good. I love
Cool.
the Nano. My wife uses mine every day. So
I use mine almost every day too. I use it a lot more than my Poseidon Pro just because it's so small and compact
yeah.
and perfect for a pocket. Our next product is our Poseidon Pro. It's probably our best seller, and it's been around for a long time. It's waterproof, it's crush proof, it's drop resistant, which all of those were super fun tests to do, by the way. So like for the waterproofing, we tied it onto a fishing line and dropped it at the bottom of the lake for a while and then just reeled it back in, which super fun. I was also absolutely terrified of losing a battery pack in the water with my line breaking or something.
Yeah.
Super fun. For the crush test, we went up and borrowed a bunch of different vehicles from my dad's work, and like we ran it over with a 1-ton dump truck and backhoe and like
Dang.
his anyway, a whole bunch of different vehicles, ran it over and it was totally fine, which was also a really fun day. For the drop testing, we dropped it like 75 feet onto concrete, which was again super fun. The hardest part about that was actually finding a place to go drop it where we weren't going to hit anybody or
Yeah.
like be a big distraction. The location was important and fun to find on that. We got to shoot it with a shotgun, which was super fun. And like all of this was just the best part of my job is also getting to do some of these video shoots for our in-house stuff. was going to be able to shoot it and blow it up and drop it. And like, it's not, it is the toughest battery on the market. It isn't indestructible though. So like all of the stuff
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm not recommending you go do with your battery packs.
Right.
They will break eventually, but we got to do all of that testing, and I've seen some amazing things come out of videography and photography with the Poseidon Pro. One thing that we did this last winter was we were out duck hunting, and we were using it to essentially keep a GoPro running. I don't know if you've ever, like, GoPro batteries in the cold are,
Yeah.
we'd have like 30 seconds of video footage. And so we just direct wired into the GoPro with the Poseidon Pro, and we were able to run all day while we were duck hunting, which was great.
Nice.
Some people use them to plug into their cameras for time lapses. I know Kobe did a time lapse that I thought was amazing. He did a quick little clip showing that he had his Poseidon Pro plugged into his camera and then did a night time lapse that was superb. So GoPros, cameras. Oh, I know it's not as photography related. A lot of people are just using them to charge up their phones. I personally don't even have a great big camera. I do most of my photography and videography just on my phone. And I think that's an okay place to start for people. Having a device that can charge my phone and keep it so that I can go get that content is super helpful. Those are like the main things I think of when I think of the photography, is just supplementing your camera batteries so that you don't have to charge them. I do, if you're okay, I have a little teaser that I want to share on the
Okay.
podcast. I don't actually have them with me, but we are launching some new Spectre solar panels. They're a folding version of the one that we already have out, and they're designed to go with these two batteries, which for the creative, like, area specifically, I think is going to be huge, because then you can keep recharging your batteries and not have to pack
Yeah.
80 batteries every hunting trip you're going on. You can take your Poseidon Pro and a solar panel, or two Poseidon Pros and a solar panel, and set it out there for a day and just switch them. And you'll be able to keep your devices powered, which will be so helpful for a lot of people. We also have some other batteries and solar panels coming out, big ones, bigger, really big, which I think people are going to absolutely love. That's something we've been getting asked about for a while. Is bigger batteries, and they're going to be dark energy quality for much bigger
Nice.
stuff.
That's so cool, dude. I love it. I love new stuff. New gear is always fun to play with and test out. So that's good. I know that's what I did on spring bear hunt this year. Is I took two Poseidon Pros, and then I have the the solar panel, the Spectre, the roll solar panel, and yeah, for I used it for a whole week. Didn't run out of power once. So just kept stuff recharged when it was sunny. Threw that solar panel on my backpack, and yeah, I got some of these next to me right now too, because just in case. But yeah, so that's kind of the way to go for backcountry stuff, is to just bring a couple power banks, and then that solar panel makes a huge difference, because then you know that you're never going to run out of power as long as there's sunlight. Like, even if your battery banks get low and your phone gets low, like, you're still eventually going to be able to get power. So that's cool. I'm excited for that
Yep,
stuff.
us too.
I
Us
Yeah,
too.
that's good. I also I probably use the power banks to charge my phone the most as well, even when I'm on hunts, because I use my phone to film through my spotting scope, so to film whatever animals and kill shots and stuff, and that takes a lot of battery power from the phone. So that power bank is mostly used for my phone, and then I will charge camera batteries and stuff with it when I'm back there if I need to, but it just kind of depends. So, Brayden, you're a hunter yourself, a little bit, I think, right?
Yes, I try to be.
Nice.
Yeah,
What do
I
you have
I
any?
do.
Do you
we
have any
go
hunts
out.
planned for this year?
I don't really have any big ones. I do have to say, being a non-creative in the hunting agency really cuts down on, or the hunting industry really cuts down on how many hunts you can go on, because that is one of the busiest times of year for sales and making sure everything's going correct in marketing. So I need to
Yeah.
be around. I drew a Utah deer tag. It's not like any super exciting unit, and then I am going to get an over the counter elk tag in Utah. And that's probably about it for me this year. I'm going to go help
Nice.
some buddies. I have some buddies that got archery tags or governor tags and or limited entry archery tags. So I'll go help them. But as for myself, I just have my one deer tag and an over the counter elk. So nothing too exciting, but definitely something to get me out of the office and go have some fun in the mountains.
Nice. Get a little break from work for a little bit, eh?
Exactly. Well, it's still kind of work because I use it to get content for all of our stuff,
It's
but
true.
that's all right too.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, Braden, I think we kind of covered most of what I wanted to cover. And like, I've been using your guys' stuff for, like I said, I think about like a year and a half or 2 years now, and it's awesome. Would definitely recommend it to anyone.
This is just information for your listeners, as we typically run two sales a year. I guess I'll give you the information on how, if you want to get a deal on Dark Energy. We do a Father's Day sale. We do a like no or November holiday Black Friday sale, as most
Yeah.
companies do. And then one of the best places to actually get a deal on gear is at a show we're at. So if you go to Hunt Expo or Total Archery Challenge and we're there and you want to get a battery, that is another time when we're running a sale. And we don't run a lot of them. Our products are good and solid, and we feel confident in our pricing and that it's worth the price. We try not to run too many deals because they're solid and worth the price normally. But we do understand that we want to help our customers every now and then.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they are worth it for sure. So I think that that's kind of fun. Yeah. So, Braden, thanks for coming on the podcast and chatting for a bit. I think this was a great conversation. People can get some stuff from it. Just either creatives trying to get in the space or hunters kind of trying to figure out what they need to have on their hunts. And power is one of the most important things to take on any hunt, especially if you're backcountry hunting.
I guess if you have time for one more thing, and we're still recording, and anybody
Yeah, we
actually
are.
wants to listen to this, I know you've done a lot of episodes on networking and the hunt. I know you've done a lot of episodes on networking, and I'm super grateful for our relationship and friendship. If anybody does want to reach out and possibly work with Dark Energy, just shoot me an email. I get forwarded everything from marketing at darkenergy.com. So just email marketing at darkenergy.com. It'll get forwarded directly to me, and I'll reach out to you as fast as I can that way. So, it's one step in the door, one foot in the door that you can reach out to me. I don't know if we'll be able to do anything, but again, I think it's an awesome opportunity, and I'm grateful for Logan. So I'd love to meet any of you that are listening and maybe even work something out and start working with you. But thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for letting me hop on and tell you a little bit more about Dark Energy products. They are awesome just for keeping anything charged so that you can make sure you stay safe on them.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Thanks, Braden, for giving that information and kind of allowing people that opportunity. I think that's really cool. So yeah, and thanks for being on here.
Cool. Thanks, Logan. It was great talking to you, and thanks for listening, everybody.